Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
Welcome to another episode of Ed in His Corner. Coming out the white corner, my name is Bill and I'm ready to fight.
And coming out the black corner, my name is Barry and I'm ready to fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Ed in His Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best shows, best movies, best anything, basically. And this week, what are we talking about, Bill?
I think we got some history going on right now. We're going to talk about the 30th year anniversary of, in my opinion, one of the greatest comedies of all time, Boomerang.
Yeah, you could add romantic comedies on top of that. You could add comedies and you could just add movies. And for you guys who haven't seen the movie, it's
Sorry, we spoiling it, but
no, it's too late. What is it? You said 30 years?
30 years.
Dang.
July 1st made 30 years on the head.
To give you guys some context, so basically it's a player, he's a womanizer, looking for the perfect woman. Perfect woman doesn't exist technically, so he goes on just dogging women, sleeping one night hitter quitters basically. If they got bad feet, kicking them to the curb. If they can't, no brains and no bronze, kicking them to the curb. Bronze and no brains, kicking him to the curb. He finally meets his match. His new manager, beautiful, and she's his dream girl. However, she's to him what he is to women. She's basically playing him. She only wants him for one thing. And in the 90s, we were not used to seeing women act like that. And then basically we go through seeing it makes men empathize with women more because we have to watch a player get played. And he's going through the motions.
And what did he get played?
Background, when we talk about Boomerang, Bill, thoughts?
So the movie opened on July 1st, 1992, obviously 30 years ago, directed by Reginald Hudlin of the Hudlin brothers. I think previously they had just directed House Party.
The thing is, I think they got the deal for this because of House Party, and Eddie Murphy had
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But you know what, there's an interview on Jay Leno, like an old 1992 interview where Eddie Murphy handpicked Reginald Hudlin prior to seeing House Party. It was because of a short he had did while he was in college. So cool, they was already making their waves in the industry. So
I guess House Party solidified the pick there. It had an all-star cast lineup.
You want to read some of those names?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy, David Allen Greer, Halle Berry, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, Eartha Kitt, Grace Jones,
Tisha
Campbell,
Chris Rock.
Yeah, I say Chris
Rock.
And
I'm looking on IMDb. Lela Rashawn.
What's his name? Lela Rashawn. Jeffrey
Holder,
who was Punjab in Annie, and he did the old 7-Up commercials.
Yeah.
And
John Witherspoon, you said that?
Oh, John Witherspoon and I can't think of her name. She always plays his wife. Stans. Yeah. Myra?
I don't remember her real name.
Myra.
Yeah.
And Robin Givens.
Yeah.
Robin Givens.
And we're leaving out people, but just a lot of people. Just a lot of black faces,
wasn't the kid one
from
of the kids? Parenthood. Yeah. Okay.
Michael from Parenthood. I don't remember his name in real life. Michael Peterson.
Mike. Yep. Yeah. Him. So all-star lineup. I mean, a lineup like this, how could you feel? You could.
I was gonna say, man, and if you watch the same interview I referenced earlier for Jay Leno, that's something the critics had to say about the movie. It's like one of their biggest critiques was how it was almost like they treated it like it was sci-fi because there were so many black faces in powerful positions in this movie. So it was like a lot of critics didn't understand that. So when we look at the movie doing so Eddie Murphy was part of this group called the Black Pack back in the day, which is like a derivative of the
Rat Pack. Mm-hmm.
So Black Pack was Ken Ivory Wayans, Robert Townsend, Eddie Murphy, and a couple of black heavyweights in Hollywood. And this movie was definitely, it was intentional for them to put a lot of black faces in it. And it shows you how forward thinking he was and conscious even back in the day. So I just always appreciated that about the people he chose to do movies with.
Yep. And if you look at the movie prior, Coming to America, it's still not as many, but it still had a lineup.
That to me, that was just this. It was just as solid. Like I remember more. That was one of the movies where it was rare. Like this movie, you have to really look hard to see. The extras are kind of like the white faces. And Coming to America, you have to wait for like, okay, next week is the fries, or Louis. And then you also Anderson, got the cab driver that takes him from the airport. But I felt that's consistent in his whole career. But stand on this movie. I always just some points. I always want to believe that this exists in the same universe as Bebe Kids and House Party, because it's a Hudlin project and he plays the robbers or the hustlers in every film. He has a cameo, so technically they exist all in the same universe. So it's a shared universe.
Yeah. I remember, obviously I'm old, so I remember watching the movie when it came out, and Halle Berry was that new face to hit the screens, the short haircut, the light skin, just really beautiful. You had Robin Givens, who just came off of the Mike Tyson issue, and
she was another one. Like she was just the one that everybody was jocking, Raging Harlem. That's how Mike Tyson got a hold of her. But they were beautiful.
Yeah, I read a little something about that. Is they were kind of skeptical because of what she went through with Mike Tyson, and she was projected as a bad guy, and they said that it played right along with the character. Angela was Halle Berry's name. I can't think of her name right now. But
I got you. I'm on IMDb. I forgot it as well. But that's Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Jacqueline. So they said it played well with the part, and she would be a great takedown to Eddie Murphy's Marcus character.
She's playing the perception of like her projection in real life, which is she turns powerful men into weaklings. That's basically a player who's about to get played.
Yep.
And not only that, producers may have been worried because she wasn't the original choice for Jacqueline. It was actually somebody else that we're familiar with. And then they had a sexual harassment suit. It was supposed to be Nino Brown's girl. I the stuff you find out on IMDb trivia, but originally she had the part. There was like a sexual harassment claims, and then they basically settled, but she had to leave the role, and then they ended up getting Jacqueline. Now that was either for Angela or I believe it was Jacqueline's role, but still casting they couldn't have done a better job.
No.
Robin Givens in that role.
Perfect role.
Yeah, the way she was.
Everybody. If you think about everybody we named, right? The character they played was perfect for them. Because if you think about David Allen Greer in Living Color, and he's just always that.
Arrivederci. He just
Arrivederci. Reverend Leon Lonnie Love. And then he always plays these characters that you just laugh at, and then. Martin Lawrence, of course, the chemistry that those two have is crazy.
Martin was cool on this. I mean,
yeah.
Eddie was cool on this one.
And,
Martin was Martin before Martin. Baby got his stitches out. There's no every side character has a memorable quote in this movie. There's no weak, Everybody,
even Chris Rock, sad.
Since the Fat Boys, I've felt this bad since the Fat Boys break up. Now this,
it's like, hey, Marcus, here's some of the minimum wage, brother.
A lot of people, because I think Chris Rock is funny, but he's even admitted to this that the black community wasn't rocking with him. To me, this was his cosign. Like, you don't really get that in Beverly Hills Cop 2. Is this movie that reminds people like, oh, he's funny.
That one and I'm gonna get you sucker.
Yeah,
just that little, just his little part.
Actually, I stand corrected. More so, I'm gonna get you sucker.
Get you sucker. Just that little
how much
part.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah. How about for one reel?
So actually, we talking about it now. You know,
Mhm.
let's get into some quotes, like some memorable quotes from this movie. Like, just you can start throwing them out. I got a couple written down that I love.
I would say Tisha Campbell. What my height?
Go ahead.
Size, my weight, my height, my weight.
My favorite
Doggy
line
style.
from that scene. Yeah, doggy style. But
oh my god.
I don't give a damn about no restraining order when he walks away.
Restraining order. I don't give about no restraining order.
And it's the subtle lines that get you. Because one of my favorite lines from the movie, a lot of people probably don't even pay attention to it, but it's the secret to my salmon is I put rosemary in the butter sauce. Gold star for Marcus. Dinner was yummy. Beet juice. It keeps the skin tight. You know,
Eartha Kitt. Oh my.
Dinner. Let's just discuss our workload. Dinner. That's it.
No, you know who was funny in that?
Who?
It was I guess the butler. Eartha Kitt's butler.
The hater. The one that laughed.
No,
when that laugh,
laughing the whole time, like, boy, you about to get taken off.
At that point, he already used to it. He used to it. Like people trying to get promotions and sleep their way up to the top of the ladder, and then
you got Strong J.
What time does the show start? You know that.
Yeah. What? Some old
best line. Best scene stiller though is John Witherspoon coordinate. You know.
Oh yeah.
From the rooter to the tutor. What was
coordinate.
Yeah, what was the little group that came out 2004 that came out with from the rooter to the tutor?
Field Mob.
Yeah, Field Mob made a whole album for this scene. Bewildered on the soundtrack while he's walking through the office. Every woman's laughing at him.
Whatever the song was playing.
Bewildered. James Brown.
As he was walking through the office and the song was playing, and then you just see all the women who probably had something to do with him just turn and laughing. And the lady who's coming down the stairs as he's walking up, she's turned to the side. And then Chris Rock comes in and he's saying what he's saying. That is an epic scene.
Yeah. And when I was younger, I saw it as a tragedy. Like, it's like, dang, Marcus, you know, but as I'm older, I'm like, I see the comedy in it because I'm like, oh, this is like roles reversed.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's hilarious. And then,
comedy.
If you add Bewildered to your playlist, if you have it, James Brown, which brings me to my next point. Let's talk about the soundtrack for this movie, which is also celebrating its 30th anniversary as well.
So if you guys go back, if you're watching this, go back and check out our top 10 soundtracks of all time. I have this as my number 3rd soundtrack of all time. So FYI. LaFace Records.
This the album the album that built LaFace, by the way.
This literally, again, I have it 3rd all time, from beginning to end. One rap song on the whole album, basically. And that was
something about dogs.
It's Hot Sex on the Platter.
Yeah, okay.
That's Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a lot of songs on the album. And the songs go with the album. The songs go with the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we are, a lot of times when we're listening at songs and we're listening at music and soundtracks, they don't tie in very well. This album tied in so well. So if you start with number 1, you got Give You My Heart, right? Babyface and Toni Braxton.
And it introduced Toni Braxton to the world.
They played that at the very end of the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
When they're walking away.
That's
gonna be
and
you
they
in a
got
couple
together.
Years.
Yeah. It's gonna be all right.
Aaron Hall,
Charlie Wilson. Tonight Is Right, Keith Washington. Oh man, what? Lord.
Keep going.
I Die Without You. PM Dawn. Monster song. If you guys don't know, please go check out some of PM Dawn's music. Really good group. 7 Day Weekend, Grace Jones.
Yeah, and she makes she has a small role in the movie.
She has a Sean J.
Yeah. When are we going to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Angela says she knows how to really move your ass. Angela told you that? And it gave you literally one of the biggest songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
End
And
of the road.
you enlightened me on this, that this was on the soundtrack. For some reason, I always thought this was introduced on a Boyz II Men album, but it was introduced on
soundtrack song. This song actually was very good because they played it at the very beginning of the movie. It's called Reversal of a Dog. Again, think about what we're talking about. This movie is about a dog or a player. The song is called Reversal of a Dog. Mm-hmm. Think about it. He's walking through the office. He just got reversed. Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night. Again, monster song. It goes right along with the movie. There You Go. There you go. Johnny Gill telling me no, you know.
Yeah. There You Go is one of my one of my favorites on the album, and I feel like that ties in the best with the movie. I love that scene, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't Want to Love You, Shanice. I remember, that came out. Good foot, very good song. This is my song right here. Feels Like Heaven.
Feels like heaven.
Hey, that song. That's when they were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that's when he fell in love.
That's when he had to call his mom.
He fell in love.
Yeah.
And then number 12, last song, Hot Sex on the Platter. Hot Sex. Tribe Called Quest. So again, all songs, nice songs, very good songs, very good soundtrack. And I believe it sold 3 million. It went 3 times platinum. It was number 4 on the Billboard's 200 list, number 1 on the R&B hip hop list. So
and we get this album when, if you listen to L.A. Reid interviews, LaFace is kind of on the decline because, L.A. Reid and Babyface are on the decline because they started their own record label and they're not pumping out hits like they expected, So then they finesse and find a way to get. They look at what New Jack City did and they're like, how do you get a soundtrack? So they basically finesse and get access to this soundtrack. They kill it, and after that, having a 3-time platinum soundtrack. I feel like it cements them, and then they, once again, they go on to be LaFace. But I feel like this was a pivotal point in their career. So you can't separate the success of the movie from the album, from the soundtrack. And we wanted to talk about that. But just a lot of hits. And when you hear some of these songs, you think of the scenes.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. Like, that just shows you how strong this soundtrack is. I have a lot of other memories tied to, for example, End of the Road. So this movie and this soundtrack are great separately, but together, oh my goodness, it's a lot of magic.
And even we talked about this before, End of the Road actually has surpassed the soundtrack. Like, when you hear the song, you don't, a lot of times people don't even think about it. This is where it came from. You just hear a Boyz II Men song.
I feel like there's some songs on this album that do that. Like, if I had to, probably Love Should Have Brought You Home.
That was also on her album.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. I think a lot of people are familiar with that song just being the jam by Tony and not necessarily tying it to this movie.
There You Go as well for me.
Yeah, that's my jam, bro. Like, honestly, that's probably, My comes close, but it's neck and neck when it comes to My, and There You Go. But obviously, I understand My is the bigger song. But I get so many memories when I think of this song because of the scene in the movie. It's like, Angela, you finally get your medicine. Like, I need to go back home. And it's playing that jam, and you think Mark is going to do something stupid. And then,
you got to go home.
Yeah, you got to go home.
And then the whole scene after that, she blah, blah, blah. And, I got caught up. And, Angela, Jacqueline called, and I thought I had some feelings. And Love Should Have Brought forehead. And then she says the words, Love Should Have Brought Your Ass Home Last Night. So,
and that slap when he hit that complete 180 and looks at the camera.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about impact. So there are a lot of memorable scenes that have kind of graduated into like our membranes in the just I guess the Rolodex of all like the quotable scenes, memorable scenes, and all that stuff. Let's talk about impact of this movie. It's 30 years later, and we're still talking about it today.
Yeah.
What type of weight does this movie hold?
So again, I looked at it. It had a $42 million budget, shot in New York. It cleared 131 million at the box office. So obviously they recouped their money plus, plus more. Triple, might as well say almost triple,
Say the number again.
Or they $42 million budget.
Yeah.
They made 131 at the box office.
Yeah, we're used to movies going to $1 billion now, but back then Eddie Murphy was special because he was like one of the only comedians one of the only stars that could take R-rated comedy. Even though I think this is a PG-13 rating, but Eddie Murphy movie.
R.
Okay, if it is R, that's more. All right, he always crossed 100 million with his R-rated content. And if it's Black content, they weren't pushing it overseas. So when you look at the box office, that's domestic. But that wasn't supposed to happen in the 90s. So you could almost factor in inflation, factor in Black movies not being pushed overseas, factor in the R rating. 100 million is basically $1 billion at that point. This movie is extremely successful.
Oh, it's a cult classic.
Ebert loved it. And I typically agree with Ebert.
Yeah.
Siskel was hating on it, but Ebert got the jokes.
But see, if you're not, a lot of people, when you're dealing with Black comedy, if you don't understand the significance of certain things, you're not going to get it. It's not going to be funny to you.
Yeah.
Right. Just taking Chris Rock's character alone. And first the Fat Boys break up. Now this. You might not get what we're talking about.
The Fat Boys, like okay.
Yeah, you don't get that concept. It was a great line.
For some reason, the movie works though. They educate you. If you're a foreigner watching this film, and what I mean, outsider, you're not part of Black culture. They do a good job of explaining everything, like how Martin sets up the pool table, and when the Black man. The game ends when it finally, he finally takes out the black ball, and then the earth is flat. They used to think the earth was flat and it's green because the pool table green. So they explain the jokes. Even the every Black person knew about how people like would dress up and stuff and bring it back to the store. That was like comedians made joke about that. They explain it to you because David Allen Greer acts like the straight guy, and he's telling you like, wait, you would stink something all up and bring it back?
Stink it all up to be damned and bring it back.
They do a good job of explaining these concepts to where you don't have to be part of the culture to understand this. And I'm like, that's part of the reason that it's classic. Another thing I would say is when you the first scene when he's basically stepping into the headquarters of Lady Eloise Cosmetics. And it's a lot of Black faces. It's a corporate building.
Yes.
And it's populated by Black people. And I think some of that is part of its significance. This movie, as well as Gina's marketing job on Martin, was something that inspired me when at a young age, I'm going to major in business in some type of shape or form. And so even that has, the way we talk about Black excellence now, this laid the foundation for some of that. So I think that's part of its legacy.
Yeah, it really, I didn't think about it then, but as you get older and you start to work and you start to understand working in business and structure and so forth, hierarchy, that was literally, like you said, it was a Black business, basically.
Bro,
all you saw was Black faces.
The editors were Black. The people cutting in the commercials were Black. When Martin, I keep saying Martin, when Eddie's basically interviewing the Marcus is interviewing the models, they're Black. Lady Eloise is Black. Merger Black organization. Everybody, I'm like, wow, what's up with all these Black people? That's crazy. And for a young kid to watch that, that's empowering. So I saw this probably a year and a half after you, Bill, once it came on network TV. And my sister kept saying, I want to see Boomerang. I want to see Boomerang. Me being young, 92, I'm young. I'm a baby. I'm 6. Exactly. And I'm thinking, what she talking about? I'm thinking Crocodile Dundee type movie, like Boomerang, like something in the outback. And when I saw this, I was at my daddy's house for the weekend. Not a lot of supervision. I watched it by myself. My dad is asking me, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, I'm watching Boomerang with Eddie. He was on the phone with somebody and they were laughing at the same parts I was laughing at. He was like, she's watching it too. So that's just how funny.
Even the title,
Boomerang. Whatever you throw out, man, that karma come back to you. It took me a minute to get what that meant. I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't understand how this has to do with Boomerang. But yeah, like you said, that karma comes back.
So and it's hard to say it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say it now because the characters and the actors are cemented in our brain. Who do you think could have played Marcus if it wasn't Eddie?
It's Eddie, man. There was nobody else in Hollywood that was cool in that age. So to be considered to be a CEO of a merger, which is what he thought he was going to be the head of marketing, you have to be, low 30s, mid 30s. So I'm thinking of any actor at the time. If you put Morgan Freeman in that role, no. If you put Samuel L. Jackson, he's not cool.
I'm thinking about maybe Wesley Snipes.
Wesley could have did it. Wesley could have did it.
He did have a dress up type business career when he was in Jungle Fever.
Yeah.
And he was like, they loved him.
And people didn't know Wesley was funny yet, though. That's the thing. Yeah. I know he's funny now, but at the time they didn't know he was funny. And this is Wesley coming off New Jack City. You see what I'm saying?
Denzel?
So although retrospect, hindsight's 2020.
Denzel?
Denzel would have been too old, and he wouldn't have been funny.
30 years ago, you think he'd have been too old?
I think Denzel could have matched up, because if we're saying Wesley, Denzel and Wesley were close to the same age on Mo Better Blues. I love Denzel. That's my favorite actor, but he didn't have the comedic chops to hold this movie down. That orgasm scene that Eddie has with Jacqueline, I could see Wesley probably doing it.
No, I could see Wesley doing it. You're right.
Mo Better Blues, but I don't see Denzel or any other person being.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I'm it's almost blasphemy. I'm not replacing anyone in this movie. There are no, I'm trying to think.
Who could probably play Chris Rock's part? Just now. Only just now.
A present day?
I think Mike Epps or Kevin Hart. Because they're just goofy, like they're
but it's also a small role. It's not too demanding. He's cartoonish. I feel like that's the thing. A lot of the side characters could have been replaced by anybody else, and it would have been as impactful. But I think the part that we marvel at is that all the side characters grew up to do bigger things. Like when we were watching that movie, I don't think anybody knew Martin was about to be the next best thing. I don't think anybody knew Chris Rock was about to be the next best thing.
Where was Martin at in his career in 92?
There's an Arsenio Hall episode where after Boomerang, he comes on like a year later, and that's when HBO started throwing the money. I'm looking at some stuff here,
but I mean, either way, the cast was great. Everybody did well, thankfully. Everybody moved on to do successful things. And obviously, as you can see, we're talking about impact. Again, some people weren't able to get it. We were able to get it. And again, this movie is a classic. I cannot, if I had to take 10 movies, I probably would have this, which is actually pretty crazy. Eddie may have 3 movies, literally 4.
Eddie has the best collection of Black classics in his catalog.
I mean, you talking about,
depends on who you talk to. Coming to America, Boomerang, Harlem Nights, Life.
Just think about those 4.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. We leave some stuff out.
One or 2 of those movies will be in the top 10 certain movies of all time.
Yep. When we talk about Black romantic comedies, this is going to be on the top of most of those lists.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, well, there you go. 30 years later.
After 30 years
Hopefully-
after the fact.
30 years later. Hopefully, Eddie or Martin or Leela or Sean or somebody see our video, man, and hopefully it goes viral. But thank you. If you do see it, thank you for giving us this gem, timeless classic.
Appreciate you.
I watched it the other day.
Hey, so how about this? 2 cents. What do we want to ask? What's their favorite line from the movie? What's their favorite?
Tell us your favorite line from the movie. Tell us anything. Tell us anything that you can remember about this movie, what you love about this movie. What did the movie mean to you? Do you even have it ranked in a topping in the top 10 or anything for you? Let us know. Go to the comments. Leave your 2 cents. Y'all know what to do.
Cool. What's another way they could support, Bill?
Hey, y'all know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment, and don't forget hit that notification bell so that whenever we drop new movies or upload anything, you are instantly notified.
Hey, man, outside of that, information's on the screen. Check us out. Outside of that, that's all I got, Bill. Peace.
Peace.